What's going on, guys? So today I want to talk about mouse and keyboard versus controller players, and how mouse and keyboard players say that controller players with the aim assist is super broken, and how controller players say playing with a mouse and keyboard is super easy and super broken. So I just wanted to give you guys a perspective of someone that plays both, the advantages and disadvantages to each one, and which one overall is the best in my opinion. So we're going to start out with mouse and keyboard and the advantages of playing on mouse and keyboard. So mouse and keyboard, when you play, guys, you guys know you are absolutely cracked. You can do things that controller players can't do, specifically whipping on or swiping or your target acquisition and basically just snapping onto targets as quickly as possible, especially in Call of Duty, and how overpowered it is you being able to do that. Your reaction time is generally faster than someone on a controller, just because you are able to have more range of movement and how you are able to react to certain situations faster and get out of them. Now, mouse and keyboard personally is my go-to input. I've been playing on it for about the past year, and you guys seen what I've been able to do on mouse and keyboard. Now, switching over to controller, the advantages over on controller is I feel like when you're playing with that controller, you will have overall better movement than with a mouse and keyboard. Now, if you've been playing mouse and keyboard for a very long time, you might be able to have good movement, but if you play it on controller for a long time, your movement is absolutely cracked and you're able to maneuver certain situations and basically throw off a mouse and keyboarder's aim. And basically the aim assist in Black Ops Cold War specifically is really strong, so it's really easy to hit shots once you're on target, and once you get on target, you're locked onto target depending on how you play. And a lot of times people are going to say that controller is super easy, but someone who just picks up a controller, it is actually quite a challenge. It is really hard for a beginner player to play really well on a controller, just because their centering is not that good. They're usually playing more casually and they're not playing to get better. Now, when it comes to finding out which one is the best, I would actually have to say that both of them are good in their own right. One, you just have to put a little bit more time in, and the other one, you just can get really good and the skill ceiling is not as high as a mouse and keyboard player. So let me explain. So with controller, just because you are really good at your movement and everything, you can abuse aim assist, yes, but certain situations you're going to lose to a mouse and keyboard player just because they have more range of motion. And when it comes to the skill gap, most of the people that play controller are very casual players. If you play on a mouse and keyboard, you are probably a hardcore player, and it is really difficult for you to not be a hardcore player, because you know you're playing on a more expensive console, or not console, but more expensive equipment. You have a really good monitor. Normally you have a really good PC, and you're just a really cracked out player. You play to get better, whereas controller, you don't play really to get better. You play just to have a good time. Now, the top 2% of players, when you put them side by side, you really can't compare the two, okay? Because mouse and keyboard is in its own realm, and then controller players are in its own realm. You really can't say one is better than the other, just because you're being put into two unfair situations. One, you have aim assist and you're playing differently, and two, you just can't put it in a competitive environment. Either you play on one input or the other, right? If you are primarily playing a PC game and everybody is on PC, right, a controller player is going to have a harder time. Like Valorant, for example, or CSGO, any of those games that are really aim intensive, right? You are not going to be able to keep up if you plug in a controller. Now, something like Call of Duty, where predominantly the player base is a controller player base, and a lot of people, even the pros in the esports, they play on controller. You're not going to see a lot of PC people play on like mouse and keyboard up against a controller player in a competitive scene, just because, you know, you can't put them side by side. That's what I want to get across in this video. You really can't put them side by side, and that's what the problem is with crossplay. We really didn't see a huge, oh, aim assist is so overpowered, or oh, this is really strong. I actually think to like get rid of this problem, have it to where it is an input based matchmaking, Therefore, if you have people that are playing mostly on PC with mouse and keyboard, you won't feel like you're getting cheated against somebody that's playing controller, or vice versa. Maybe it should be to where, kind of like how Apex Legends have done it, where you could still play crossplay, but the people that are on controller, when you come over and play against PC people, you're on PC lobbies, just because it is unfair for the PC community base, people that play on mouse and keyboard, to play against controller players. They are just two separate inputs, and they're just two separate skill levels that you just cannot put together. And I think that's what the biggest problem is. Before, in Call of Duty, say Call of Duty World War II, Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4 even, those are, you're going up against just controller play, or not controller players, but mouse and keyboard players on PC, and vice versa on console. You're just going up against you know, controller players. You aren't going up against mouse and keyboard players. So therefore, it's a different environment. And Black Ops, you know, 4, you didn't have a problem where like, oh, the aim assist was super strong. And even if someone plugged in a controller on PC, they didn't get any aim assist, because they knew how unfair of an advantage that would be when you're going up against a mouse and keyboard player. They wanted you to play on a certain input because you're on PC. PC primarily is a mouse and keyboard input. And when you are playing against people that are going up against like other enemies that are on mouse and keyboard, you're not going to feel like you're going to get cheated when someone kills you, because they're on the same input as you. And it's kind of destroyed Call of Duty how Black Ops Cold War, yes, we wanted crossplay, but the problem with that is we're mixing up players, and especially with the competitive scene being on controller, there are a lot of people that play PC now on controller with Call of Duty, and it is actually really frustrating and really annoying. So the end of this video, I just want to say that it is just not fair to put one up against the other. Me personally, I could play on both. You guys can see that I prefer mouse and keyboard, but in a competitive setting, since everybody is playing on controller, you are primarily going to play on controller. That way you won't feel like you're getting cheated. That's why when I play League Play, I play on a controller. Not saying that I can't play on a mouse and keyboard, it's just that you're going to feel like you're going to get cheated because of the aim assist and other things. Now, if it was an input-based matchmaking where you are just playing against people in League Play up against, you know, mouse and keyboard input, then there you go. There is a problem solved. It's not going to feel like you're going to get cheated, and it's going to feel more natural. You don't have any excuses on how, you know, aim assist, you know, beat me or something like that. It is just primarily mouse and keyboard players. So I think those two should be separated, especially in League Play or, you know, a competitive scene, especially how skill-based matchmaking is in Call of Duty Cold War right now. It is actually kind of annoying, and it's just something that needs to be dealt with. I actually think the next Call of Duty is going to have more of a strict input-based matchmaking, to where you are not going to feel like you are going to get cheated against a controller player or a keyboard and mouse player. And that is all I just wanted to talk to you guys about today. I hope you have a wonderful, blessed day. Always remember to stay blessed, stay humble, and comment down in the comment section below if you guys agree with what I'm saying in this video, if we should separate controller players from mouse and keyboard players, or if you want to play with your friends that are on controller, then you're primarily going to be playing on a mouse and keyboard lobby. Or if you are a mouse and keyboard player joining your friend on console, you know, you're primarily going to be playing on a controller lobby. I just think that's a really good fix for everything, and a lot of people will stop complaining about it. And I just want to see us all come together as a community and as a Call of Duty fan base, and just, you know, spread positive vibes and just become a better community. Okay, that's all I want for the game. I want to exceed. I don't want it to be to where, oh, he's on this input or whatever input you're on. I just want us to all be happy and basically come together and make the best positive community that we possibly can. Guys, like I said, that's it for today. Always remember to stay blessed and stay humble. And like I said, comment down in the comment section below what you think. Should controller players play against mouse and keyboard players or vice versa, or should it be strictly input based matchmaking? And if you join your friend that is on console, you know you're going to be playing up against controller players. That's it, guys. Peace.